What I don't like about President Obama is his goals, are his ideas, are his policies, are the things he believes in, are the things he has done. I don't like President Obama because I think he's bad for America.
Save a tree, eat a beaver. Fight crime, shoot back. Save the world from Greenpeace. You made this decision very difficult because they're all very good.
Socialism isn't cool. Don't you? In Russia, and it certainly didn't work.
So if we continue in the way Obama wants to go, we just won't have our freedoms the way we have them now and we had them before.
Yeah. Socialism isn't cool. And we Americans have woken up.
I think capitalism is part of the greatness of America. It's what makes America's fiscal ideas and ideals the best in the world. And it's part of what makes America the greatest country in the world.
Barack Obama's presidency could have been an American success story, yet something strange and unforeseen by Democratic Party strategists has occurred. Obama's opponents have taken to the streets armed with their fear and sometimes violence.
We are the greatest nation in the world, and we're not going to forget that. Who are we as conservatives? The Republican Party and the conservative movement needs to understand who they are.
14-year-old Jonathan Crone has become the anti-Obama movement mascot. He believes that the president is working to establish an all-intrusive government foreign to American values.
An American individual, Americans do not find their worth in government. They find their worth in working hard and working well. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Folks, I can't tell you how much this young man has impressed me today. Our next speaker, folks, is...
This young prodigy has written a book in which he attempts to define true conservatism. He offers it as an arm to the Republican Party, which feels threatened since losing both Congress and the White House. This 5-foot-tall activist wants to do everything he can to help the Republicans return to power.
I-S-L-E-Y. I-S-L-E-Y. We do have a good future.
Jonathan is growing up in a comfortable Atlanta suburb as part of an extremely conservative Christian family. He has never been to school. His mother, a theater teacher, supervises his home learning.
Did you quit following me around? This is Jonathan when about a year and a half ago, when he was in Peter Pan.
I'd done, I guess, about 15 productions before that.
Yes, he's always been in acting since he was 8 years old, and he loved to be in front of an audience. He likes to entertain people. Most of what he's done comes natural, but his love for history and politics was, even when he was acting, he loved that. I mean, he started that when he was 8 or 9 years old, around that time frame.
Jonathan has become a political activist under parental guidance. He risks losing his childhood.
You know,
I think she's adding more to my, I think she would say you're adding more to my and enriching me more than you're taking away from me. You're enriching my life.
think that, you know, I'm not doing anything, or my husband and I are not doing anything to take away from him or to damage him or to make him anything worse than he is. I mean, you know, we've had comments where we were hurting him because he's you know, always with adults and not with kids. I mean,
just because I'm a kid doesn't mean I have to be around kids all the time. I think that's a common misconception.
Most of the time, you two are together, right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This rising star of the political right has rapidly become an asset to the nebulous forces now attacking President Obama.
I can't vote for a bill. I'm not a congressman or a senator, but what I can do is I can speak out against it. I can speak out for what I believe. I can speak out on the facts. President Obama said that unemployment would stop at 8% if we passed the stimulus package. It's at 9.8% and it's expected to go into double digits in a few months. That's unprecedented. President Obama was wrong. He was wrong.
Isn't there a risk that the party uses you somehow?
How do they use me? I don't know. I don't know. How do they use me? I really don't know. The party doesn't use me any more than they use a politician or they use an individual. I'm any other individual. Just because I'm 14 doesn't mean that I'm the kid in the party. No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just as smart as any other individual and I know what I'm talking about.
I've got one television station that is entirely devoted to attacking my administration. I mean, you know, that's a pretty...
I assume you're talking about Fox.
Well, that's a pretty big megaphone.
The political right uses Fox News to attack the president. Obama was elected for a number of reasons. He was going to close Guantanamo, bring the GIs home, fight global warming, and reform healthcare. However, after inheriting a nation on the edge of ruin, most of his promises have gone unfulfilled. Whereas George W. Bush refinanced Wall Street, Barack Obama has bailed out credit companies and the automobile industry, financed a national recovery plan, and sent an extra 30,000 troops to Afghanistan. The national debt has risen to $1.4 trillion, a head-spinning sum which frightens a large part of the population. Some disappointed Democrats, independents, and numerous conservatives have gone on the offensive.
We're going to go visit our congressmen. We're going to tell them, you know, our opinions, tell them how we feel. We hire them. They're our employees. So we need to let them know how we want them to vote. Thank you guys for coming.
God save our country.
People fear the dawn of socialism, which they somehow equate with communism. Barack Obama has been accused of being a leftist because he plans to ensure millions of Americans who live without health care, and because the political right suspects him of giving priority to the interests of quote-unquote his own kind, that is to say blacks and other poor Americans.
Socialism, I looked it up in the dictionary because I've had so many disagreements with people. Socialism is really about redistribution of wealth, and really that is increasingly what our government is doing. It's taking money away from some and giving it to...
Take from the rich and give to the poor?
Yeah, Robin Hood. I mean, and it doesn't work.
People believe that in saving the economy, Obama has attacked the American dream. But what is this dream?
You don't know what that is? That's sad. That is sad. It's freedom of speech, freedom to voice your opinion, to make your own dream, to be able to work and prosper. And that's what our country was founded on.
It's under threat now, you think?
So that's what I believe.
All right, I tell you what we're going to do here. I'm looking, the Senate is not in session today, and we're going to go deliver about 25,000 signed petitions to Kay Hagan's office.
This event has been organized by the right-wing lobby, Americans for Prosperity. Congress is up for re-election in November 2010, so the strategy is to pressure representatives into voting against Obama's projects.
It wasn't exactly ever going to be good trying to take 500 people to one senator's office at one time.
The tactic works. Although Democrats hold the majority, in 2009, Congress blocked or watered down all of President Obama's reforms.
If they don't listen, there'll be electoral consequences down the road for anybody who doesn't listen. I'm just going to say it.
moderate Democrats, so I'm sure there's some. Well, we've got to be
We hope so, but from the looks of things,
What is happening is unconstitutional, and we are sick and tired of it. We are losing our freedoms every day under the Obama administration. They are corrupt, and they lie to us. And they don't even blink an eye. They have lost a complete, there's no moral compass. There's no moral compass with Obama. There's no moral compass with Nancy Pelosi or any of the rest of them. It's awful. It is awful. And it is frightening to us as Americans to lose our liberties. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? And this is for Obama. We are sick of it.
The Bush era brought ruin to the American middle class and thrust the country into the worst economic crisis it's known in recent years. The country is now extremely polarized between the right and the left. It is within this volatile context that the Tea Party Patriots movement was born. Its name refers to the famous 1773 Boston Tea Party, when the people of Boston, refusing to pay a newly imposed tea tax, threw crates of tea into the bay, thus signaling the beginning of the American Revolution. The Tea Party symbol mesmerizes the masses. Chip Bertlett, a specialist on right-wing ideology and conspiracy theories, is concerned about this exaggerated enthusiasm. He feels that by identifying itself with the American Revolution, the movement is setting a dangerous precedent.
The Tea Party idea is that you are throwing off the yokes of tyranny, the oppression of a government that's unfeeling, uncaring, and unresponsive. And that's how the American colonialists saw the British government. And so today, these right-wing groups cast the federal government in the same role as the British. So when they talk about being just like the people who threw the tea overboard, they mean that the people of the United States need to rise up and throw out these bums who are bullies and who are running the government and pushing us around.
Wow, there must be something going on.
And they actually have this view about these secret elites and liberal, sellouts up above, and these lazy, shiftless, subversive people down below. And you have this middle-class white people are being squeezed by this rising tide of color, of black people, of Mexicans, Muslims, and subversive community organizers. From above, you have the powerful, uncaring liberal Democrats and the bankers and the money folk and the highfalutin intellectuals in the university. And it's like a giant vice squeezing the middle class, and they're getting angrier and angrier. And they construct themselves as really the victims of this terrible pressure from above and below. And that's what motivates them to really rise up with such anger.
On September 12, 2009, right-wing lobbies and leaders called hundreds of thousands of people together to demonstrate in front of the Capitol building. These protesters are still a minority, but numerous enough to push the Republican Party further towards the right.
You call your congressman, you call your senator, you keep marching, you keep going, and don't stop, because we have to take our country back.
Obama's opponents see themselves as heroes united under the Tea Party flag, true patriots waging a just war against a potentially tyrannical, obviously socialist, and why not fascist government.
What's the link between Hitler, healthcare, and Obama?
Well,
What statistics are you using?
It's the exact same program. Yeah, it's the exact same program.
So you're at a rally, and there's a sign that says Obama and socialism, fascism, Hitler. And you say, how can this be Obama? And what they argue is that all forms of totalitarianism essentially are forms of socialism. So socialism and National Socialism, Nazism, is the same thing. That's the idea of America as someone who doesn't need the state, doesn't need the government, doesn't need the interference of all these hand-wringing liberals with their policies and regulations. So it's rooted in our whole psyche, this idea that if the state intervenes too much, it ruins everything, but it also makes us less human, less people, less godly.
We have to continue this fight. There's not any one person, any one organization that can fight this battle on our own. It's going to take an entire grassroots army. That's the American people's capital, where they will hear us. They have no other alternative.
Americans are getting involved and getting active, and we're making change.
Amy Kremer, an unemployed former airline stewardess, is now engaged in the protest movement. This Bush-era loser has reinvented herself as a national coordinator for the Tea Party Patriots, one of the main and well-financed players of this rebellion.
Revolutionary radicals.
I was tired of sitting at home and yelling at my TV and yelling at my car, you know, as I was driving down the road, listening to some of the stuff happening, and I felt completely alone. And through Twitter, we came together and planned the round of tea parties on February 27th. And the beauty of that was that when we started planning those tea parties, we defined our success by 10 tea parties across the country with 50 to 100 people at each tea party. We all got busy that following Monday, and 1 week later, we had 50 tea parties across the country with approximately 30,000 people in attendance. And the beauty of that was you realized you were not alone. I have made connections and developed relationships all over this country, and I'm more than anything a facilitator, you know, a resource for people. I get information from inside DC and let others know throughout the country that are involved in this movement where we are, you know, specifically standing on legislation, what senators or congressmen we need to target, and that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just a resource.
Only the White House has the number.
It's common sense.
This you don't want. What you want is a government that gets the hell out of your way, because we can fix it. The individual will fix this. I'm not asking for me to be right or them to be wrong or anything.
He's pushing the envelope, isn't he?
Than you.
He always does, which is good, and that's why everybody's starting to wake up and listen to him.
Think.
Yeah, he does. He provokes thought, which is what we have to have. Because that hasn't happened for years. If you think about it, after all these years, we've never had to be this way. It hasn't been good, but it's been okay to where we didn't have to worry where everything was a crisis.
Right, because we always lived our lives.
Right.
But now they're manufacturing this crisis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a manufactured crisis. This whole thing's been carefully planned for a long time.
Right.
The more of us come together, the more progress we're going to make. You can see things are changing. Glenn's waking us up, and I didn't even have TVs in every room. Now we have TVs out on the back porch because we can't miss Sean or Glenn or any of them because they're giving us the message to get out here and fight this.
Don't ever forget, the government works for you and not the other way around. The next Glenn Beck program.
The American Patriot Shop, now open for business on BillO'Reilly.com. Some of the best gifts you'll ever see anywhere.
Barack Obama is he's taken over banks and car companies and financial institutions. What happened?
Could we just go to the banks, the car companies, and TARP? All of that was George Bush's proposal.
All of that was Obama.
News may be the biggest news channel by far, but it's not as big as the presidency. Speaking out, and on behalf of Fox News, I believe we have a right to be heard.
Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, and Bill O'Reilly know how to make themselves heard. These Fox News broadcasters come political agitators address millions of viewers every day, fanning the fires of unquestionably dangerous theories.
President Obama promised transparency and openness in his administration, yet he's chosen not to release his original birth certificate or a copy of it. And a number of Americans are asking why not. The left-wing media has attacked me because I simply asked the question.
The question concerns Barack Obama's nationality. Millions of Americans doubt that their president is really one of them. The media, along with a number of elected officials, have contaminated the public debate by propagating the so-called birther theory, conceived by groups of people who formerly had little real influence. Willis Carto, who has served the anti-Semitism and racial hatred movement for 80 years, publishes an extreme right-wing paper, The American Free Press. Although his movement is on the fringe, his ideas, particularly concerning Obama's nationality, are becoming increasingly popular.
We don't even know who his father was. There's no birth certificate.
They produced a birth certificate.
No, he didn't. I think he produced one that is contested as being legitimate. He was a parent. He says he was born in Hawaii, but his grandmother says he was born in Kenya. He is a man of mystery.
Barack Obama was born on American soil. He has even published a copy of his birth certificate. However, that was not enough to kill the rumor.
I think that they, again, can't just say, you know, black men make me nervous and black men as presidents make me crazy. That's not acceptable today in America. But you can say, you know, he may not actually be president. And this is how you take white racial anxiety and again, twist it around so that he's the aggressor. He's not really the president. He's really representing some other interest. And hey, Reg. Hey, listen.
Another American phobia has raised its ugly head, the New World Order. According to this theory, Obama serves obscure powers who want to destroy America.
Eventually, the plan is that it would be one country with one government, one police, one army. And you know, if you don't like where you're living, well, no matter where you go, it's going to be the same. Well, you know, you ever heard of a secret society? Roosevelt in 1933 had the back of the dollar bill, the Great Seal, put on the dollar bill. Here you have the pyramid with the all-seeing eye at the top. And basically in Latin, it says, announcing the birth of the New World Order.
If you go to these meetings like I do, people will take out an American dollar bill, right? And they'll show you, and they'll turn it around, and they say, you see here? This is a secret Freemason symbol. It's the eye in the pyramid, and there's this Latin around it that says Novus Ordo Seclorum. And they say, well, that means New World Order. Well, in fact, if you're a Latin scholar, you're laughing now because it doesn't mean that at all. That this proves the U.S. money supply is controlled by the Freemasons and the Illuminati, and therefore they're behind money, and they're behind the banks, and they're behind the New World Order. And if we don't stop and stop this from happening now, it's all going to be tyranny. So, you know, they get wound up like that.
I mean, it's been here since they've been telling us, really, that they're bringing about the New World Order, at least since 1933, you know, so we just really can't see it because we don't know where to look.
The burden of service has fallen almost exclusively onto the backs of our military.
It wouldn't be so bad if such paranoid ideas stayed within the confines of the American Free Press, but propaganda videos are rampant on Tea Party websites. Obama has created his own army. Hidden concentration camps have been set up across the country. They've even been filmed.
The potential prison camps throughout the country.
And yes, in case you have any doubts, Obama is Muslim.
Talked about my Muslim faith. Assalamu alaikum.
The evangelical right is also slinging shots. These ultra-conservatives make up approximately 20% of the electorate. They are the most highly mobilized group within the Republican Party.
please join me in reciting our nation's pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the 2009 Values Voters Summit, the beginning of the comeback in America for our values.
This annual conference is where future battles are planned and where support is drawn for the conservative politicians and lobbies who are clearly anti-gay, anti-abortion, and above all, anti-Obama.
Now, these are challenging times. But I find great hope in what I see happening all across America, as is evidenced by what's happening here this weekend. These value voters who are out there who say our trust remains in God, not in government. Those value voters who say family still matters, and we're not going to let a radical minority redefine family out of existence. Are you ready to rise to the challenge?
Obama is a practicing Christian, yet he defends abortion and gay rights, which makes the propaganda about his being communist extremely popular. Evangelists equate the political left with the devil.
His name was David.
Chip Bertlett decided to attend the conference as a journalist. He is alarmed at what he hears.
Well, it is embarrassing to have been born in New Jersey, where apparently 15% of Republicans believe that Obama may be the Antichrist, and 14% know he is. So what's that about? I mean, when I go to Europe and I say, oh yeah, Obama, they think he's the Antichrist, people go, you know, what's the matter? So the answer is, this is a deeply rooted form of biblical prophecy. So you have these pamphlets like The Red Terror and Bible Prophecy, and it basically argues, of course, that the Bolshevik Revolution is now coming to an end in terms of working with the devil and the Antichrist in the end times. You have this book, Will the Antichrist Come Out of Russia? ? Actually, the pamphlet says no, but watch out, it'll come somehow. You have other books like what's the real power behind communism? And you ask, what's the real power behind communism? Well, behind Lenin is the devil with his little horns, so that communism, socialism, and the devil, again, are linked together in the minds of the Christian right. And then you have communism, hypnotism, and the Beatles. And this is the idea that there is a secular humanist plot to disturb the brain activity of young people through rock music, which was a very big theme in the Christian evangelical movement in the US. So these are not marginal views within a subculture in the US that involves tens of millions of people for whom these titles would not be laughed at. They'd be considered seriously.
The conference proposes workshops and action kits to teach activists how to fight against the supposed left-wing abuses in their towns, schools, and universities.
Keep in contact for next year. And then I'm also going to give you a flyer of our new website we just launched. Where are you a student?
Kent State.
Okay, this is campusreform.org, which is a new online social mobilization meets social networking site that the Leadership Institute just released actually this week. And it's designed for students to go on and fight leftist abuses on their college campus. So you can rate textbooks, review faculty. It's a wonderful resource. I wish I had had this as a student. You know, I felt hopeless and alone so much. And this is the best connection.
They're farmed. Yeah, it's a major issue.
And that's a spiritual issue.
It is.
I mean, you're talking about people that cannot focus because they got to worry about how to feed their family. We're the most successful country that ever happened in the world, and we're the shining light for other people. We're the hope for other people. And if we go down the tubes, who are they going to look to? And so I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of that. And I want to be able to look my children and my grandchildren in the eye and say, I didn't sit on the sidelines if this country does go down. I'm very patriotic and I get emotional about it.
The emotional, worrisome Christian right is convinced that Obama is working to establish a new anti-Christian world order to sound America's death toll. But what has Obama done to incite such fear?
You can incorporate anything into a package that has meaning in biblical prophecy. So I think with the Obama administration, just the fact that he was elected, and he was seen to be elected by a left wing of the Democratic Party. He's really quite a centrist, but he's pictured as being quite to the left. I think it was fairly easy then to spread these fears about global cooperation, because he started talking about more diplomacy, of reaching out to people in different countries, of more involvement with international treaties and international bodies. And this could be seen from both the economic libertarian and the Christian right point of view as betraying American sovereignty. And so people got very energized because of what they were seeing him doing.
The Christian right works closely with the Tea Parties. In fact, Amy Kremer, the Tea Party Patriots national coordinator, has come to the conference to recruit activists and teach the basics of political activism.
And the biggest question I got is, what do we do when we leave here? What do we do now? And the answer is, we need to get more people engaged. We need to continue to engage ourselves, engage others within our social circle, our family, our churches, anywhere and everywhere we can.
Come on, sign line, y'all. Sign line. Windows, ladies. I'm gonna do the whole cheer once. Look at me, everybody look at me. A change has come.
Change has come.
Obama, number one. No, it's a one. One up, yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what it is. Let me see it one time. I need y'all to say the word.
It's one like this?
One. No, come on. Chop. Let's go. I'm not getting. A change has come. Obama, number one.
A change has come. Obama, number one. A change has come. Obama, number one.
A private group in Alabama keeps a close eye on the extreme right wing. Heidi Barish studies the ties between the Tea Parties and the hard right. She has seen the creation of 50 new armed militias since Obama's election.
But there are other things that are happening right now that show that the far right has become animated in a way that it hadn't been in a long time. One is the explosion of Tea Party protests across the United States. These are people who represent, once again, an extreme anti-government philosophy, who really believe that with the Democrats in charge, somehow the government's going to do something terrible to them. I mean, it's always sort of an unformed reason about what it is. But they feel that socialism is on the march, and they feel like the government is getting completely out of control. But once again, it's not just the Tea Parties, it's not just the militias. We've had the rise of various other patriot groups, new ones that we've never seen before, for example, like the Oath Keepers, which is now a nationwide group that represents former military and former law enforcement officers who have taken this bizarre oath to say that they will not help the government, for example, round people up and put them in camps. They will not help the government oppress people. Well, it's not as though the government is saying, anybody in the administration is saying they're going to do anything like this, but there's some kind of paranoia or fear from the right that is causing people to feel like they have to be in the streets and they have to take these actions. So my guess is this year we're going to see a massive rise in the number of these groups, just an incredible rise in the number of them.
Arms sales have soared in the last year. Shops have run out of stock and munitions factories are working overtime. Over the past few months, the situation has become explosive.
The National Rifle Association, though, says the mayor...
The Secret Service has sort of anonymously told reporters that they have seen more threats against Obama than any president ever since whenever they've been keeping records. The Secret Service also put protection on Obama way early in the primary campaign, earlier than they've ever done for anybody else, because he's a clear assassination target. I mean, if you think 10 or 12% of the American public harbors racist views, we're talking millions of people who potentially could be angry enough to try to take a shot at him. So I think it's a really serious situation. we face here are security issues. So as a result of that, because of the groups and the organizations that we target, people don't want to have their faces shown on camera. They don't want to be seen outside because it can be problematic for them. So it's not as though the office is empty. It's just that people don't want to be shown directly on camera. These are boots sold by a neo-Nazi organization called Aryanwear, right? It's a racist group. It's a steel-toed boot. And what's interesting is on the base of the boot, you see that there are miniature swastikas and lightning bolts, German, Nazi symbols. And the point of that is that when you step on your opponent or whoever you're attacking, you're gonna leave this mark on their face or their body somewhere. From Aryanwear. So it's just, this is the way hate groups in the United States right now make their money.
So what's the flag on the back of your pickup?
That's the Confederate battle flag.
What does it mean?
Well, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To me, that's the flag that my granddaddy got his leg shot off for, fighting against the corrupt federal government of the United States.
This here, let me grab it for you. This really, really bizarre poster is actually a part of a religion, a racist religion that exists in the United States and nowhere else, called Christian identity. And what they believe, it's a perversion of Christianity, they believe that Adam and Eve created the white race and that Satan and Eve created the Jewish race. It's an anti-Semitic religion that believes that Jews are the spawn of Satan, literally. And this is their theology laid out.
Clear skies tonight with a low near 70.
The League of the South is neither a militia nor a neo-Nazi group, but a secessionist organization preaching white supremacy. As far as the members are concerned, everything has gone wrong. The president is black, and according to studies, whites in the U.S. will be a minority by 2042.
My favorite one, of course, is the border control, not gun control.
Why that?
Well, I'm a firm believer in 100% ownership of firearms, as in there should be no restrictions on what type of gun I should own. And I'm also a firm believer that they ought to build a border across the United States-Mexico border and then have about 100-foot gap and build another wall. And if you're caught in between, then you get shot. That'll stop the immigration problem. Well, it's saying that a lot of stereotypes are that way for a reason. The mayor of Montgomery a few years ago, they asked him how come blacks were 90% of what was shown on the police show. Don't know if you're familiar with it, they film arrests being made, and his response was, they're committing 90% of the crime.
And today, the fact that you have like a black president, what is it?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, my president, I hadn't had a president since 1865. Over here, this is where I keep my guns at. I've got a fair collection, not near as much as a lot of people around here have. Got the AR-15, which is what the U.S. military carries, except for they carry fully automatics. This one's not fully automatic.
So that's really for combat, right?
Right. This is the first gun I got. My daddy gave me this for Christmas when I was probably about 8 years old. This is just a little .22 rifle for killing a squirrel or something along those lines. And I've also got a couple shotguns for killing birds or deer or whatever. One of which this is the first pistol I bought that I used to carry in my truck till I got the new one. In the case of being in the truck against, armed robbery or anything like that, and that's another defensive type gun. I've also got another one similar to that in my bedroom that I keep by my bed.
In case somebody would come at night or...
Right.
You would be ready to fight for the South?
I would, in a heartbeat. It means I wouldn't hesitate. I was in the land of cotton. Old times they are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland.
In the meantime, Amy Kremer is in Atlanta, where she conducts a strategy meeting with coordinators from across the country. They are here to plan new action against Congress men and women whom they suspect of supporting Obama.
I'm here, yes.
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what about if we publish the top 10 donors for these guys that are voting for it?
Yes, do that. Please.
I mean, we can get people to research it, pull it up. We could have it within the next day, and we publish the top 10 donors.
I think we really have to put pressure on them to actually either A, publicly...
Does anybody else have any other suggestions? We need to come up with some ideas of what we want to do going forward. You know, there is going to be a delegation going to Washington next week. I'm not sure how many people, but I expect it to be a pretty good number. Does anybody else have any suggestions on what we can do to get people mobilized and activated?
Americans for Prosperity have organized a gathering in Washington. Their objective is to block cap and trade, Obama's bill aimed at reducing CO2 emissions. They also want to ensure failure of the Copenhagen Conference. They have to convince people that climate change is a lie, a Democratic Party conspiracy for raising taxes.
But first I want to talk about global warming for a minute. Here's the last 30 years. You'll see for the last 10 years we haven't had any warming. Here's my hometown. You can go on the co2science.org website and look for a town in your neighborhood and look at the temperature record. This goes back to 1889, Baker City, Oregon. Not a lot of warming there. Here's why the models on the left. If the models are correct, the global warming models, you'll see this red spot in the upper troposphere. On the right, you see the data. I think that shows that the models are phony. Thank you very much.
Other than these strange charts, their main weapon is a propaganda film created in answer to Al Gore. Here is its Irish director.
My name is Phelim McAleer, and I'm a recovering European. Well, here we are defending the American dream, and you know, I think that's a very good place to be, is defending the American dream. I want to be a part of it, because this cap and trade is an attack on the American dream. And if you don't have cheap energy, you're not going to have an American dream. You know, they don't like real jobs; they like green jobs. They want your money. That's the only reason that you exist on this planet, is that you can earn money that they can tax. You know, so I'll go straight to the end. So we've made a movie about people like you, and we want people like you to promote that movie and take part in that movie. We're having a premiere on the 18th of October. It's a people's premiere. You go online, or you can buy it out here and order a premiere pack, and it comes with a DVD, a movie poster, and a piece of red carpet.
It's a real threat, and it's coming. You go on the internet and check it out.
I don't think it would be a bad thing for this Earth to warm up. In fact, ice is the enemy of life.
Al Gore gives the impression that sea level is going to rise by 20 feet in the very near future. Now, that is a very disturbing misstatement of the science.
A lot of environmental activists still have not come to accept that the humans are also part of the environment.
You're comparing birds with people. You'd rather save the birds and lose the people.
These are not normal times.
The day is going to come where nature is not going to be so forgiving anymore, and that day is coming quickly with climate change.
I promise you, a day will come.
One of Americans for Prosperity main financial contributors is multimillionaire David Koch, the head of Koch Industries, which specializes in drilling and chemistry. He fears environmental measures like the plague and has gone on the offensive.
To begin to heal the planet.
It's not a question of whether or not the national power grid will go down. The question is for how long.
Freedom Works is one of the leading lobbies for exploiting people's fears. It was Freedom Works strategist Brendan Steinhauser who came up with the idea of getting conservatives to take to the streets.
What we did was we said, I know you're frustrated. I know you've called your congressman. I know that they're not listening. Here's what you do. You go to the streets. And that tactic proved to be huge across the country in the last year.
Freedom Works employs the cyber mobilization techniques used by the Obama team during the presidential race. Communication is conducted via internet on a national scale.
We work with Facebook, we work with Google Maps, and also we work with another site called Ning, which is similar to Facebook, that allows people to connect. And this is what we use to organize the March on Washington.
The Freedom Works website tells activists where to demonstrate, what to say and to which senators, and finally, how to block congressional phone lines.
Capitol Switchboard. Sure, I mean, our whole organization is based on the idea that elected officials want to get reelected. So we have to convince them that there are enough people that think like we do, that if they vote the wrong way, that they will definitely pay a price in the election.
Who makes the decisions? The Freedom Works boss, of course. Dick Armey is a heavy-duty Republican who, until 2009, worked for a powerful public relations firm whose clients include healthcare industry and other companies opposed to reform. Isn't it scandalous to organize people to defend private sector interests?
I think that if you talk to our members, generally speaking, they're working class folks that have a moral philosophy based on freedom, and they don't put their personal pocketbook issues first.
It's for you, remember.
Is the objective also to take back the White House?
Not in the short run. I mean, that's 4 years away. And the question would be who? I mean, we don't have a preferred candidate, and right now it's not clear who would embrace a small government philosophy that could actually win against Obama.
Sarah Palin?
Maybe.
Ultra-conservatives have taken the Republican Party hostage. Tea parties and other lobbies support the most populist Conservative Party members. Sarah Palin, but also Representative Michelle Bachmann, an ultra-conservative idol.
Not teabaggers anymore, not demagogic commentators, an actual congresswoman inciting a hateful rebellion against the rule of law and order.
It was Thomas Jefferson who said a revolution every now and then is a good thing. What do you think?
The United States has come to a crossroads. Obama's popularity has fallen to less than 50%, and new crucial congressional elections are to be held in November 2010.